Too many lyrics for you to digest. I do it on purpose. 2 of my balls is more lyrical than 2 of your verses. This is Mark Bell from supertraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West, answering more questions today for the Power Project, brought to you by HowMuchYouBench.net, the Slingshot, and the only strength magazine in the world, thepowermagazine.com. We don't have a question for today. We have a lot of questions for today, but I'm putting them on the back burner because we've got to talk about the bench press. How much you bench is what everybody wants to know all the time, right? How much you bench. And what I want to share with you guys today is that you can't bench big if you're banged up. If you're banged up, you need to take care of yourself, and you need to do some things that you normally hate doing. So let's talk about that, and let's talk about some things you can do in your training to help you avoid getting too banged up and too slowed down. You're not going to be able to bench as explosively. You're not going to be able to handle as much weight when you're not healthy. So here are some things that you could do for that. What I've been doing, what I've been working on lately is I bench heavy only every other week. In the off week, I may only do dumbbell work, assistance work. I may only do the slingshot. I may employ a repetition effort method where the weights are lighter. I might only do dynamic effort work. So like Brandon Lilly mentions in his cube method, where you're doing a different method each week, and it's spaced out nicely so you have enough time to recover, I'm doing something similar. It's just a little bit more by feel than it is by an actual routine that's written down. But the gist of it is that every other week I'm going heavy, and the weeks in between I'm not going heavy. In the weeks in between, I'm often using the slingshot and doing things that allow me to stimulate my body without annihilating it. Stimulation without annihilation. I believe Lee Haney said that, multiple-time Mr. Olympia. So I think he knew what he was talking about. Some other things you can do is you can put some Band-Aids on some stuff. So you got elbow sleeve, you got things like a slingshot, you got wrist wraps. If we're talking about the squat or the deadlift, you could wear briefs, you could wear knee wraps. Just for a week, bear with me, just for 1 week, maybe even a reverse band deadlift or a reverse band squat, maybe even a high box squat, just to give your body a little bit of a break, but to still put your body through a great training stimulus that'll allow you to grow and allow you to move forward. Too many people stand still. Too many people don't do enough when they're banged up. So pick 5 things that you can do. Don't worry about the things that you can't do. Pick 5 things that you can do. Don't worry about the things you can't do. Write down those 5 things. Write them down on a piece of paper and make sure that you're getting to them. Some things that you can do to help you stay healthy on the bench press are to make sure you're training your shoulders. Make sure you're doing flies. Flies are very important. Pretty much with everybody I've talked to that has a big raw bench press has employed some sort of fly routine. Pretty fly for a white guy. Sometimes the act of doing the exercise itself, and not so much the amount of weight that's utilized and the stimulus and the training protocol and blah, blah, blah. Sometimes just a simple act of going through some of these motions is good enough to keep you healthy, because our bodies get so tight, our bodies get so jacked up from these barbell lifts. The lifts are great, and they're great because they are barbell lifts, but they're also detrimental in some ways because they are barbell lifts. There's only so many barbell lifts you can do in a given week. In your off weeks from benching heavy every other week, you can do, as I mentioned, you can do dumbbell work. You can do dumbbell flat bench, dumbbell incline bench, dumbbell floor presses. So you can completely skip barbell work altogether if you want or if you need to. If you're really jacked up and you really got some pain and you can't handle a barbell at all, then I suggest you look into buying a slingshot. If that doesn't help, which it should, it helps almost everybody that's bought one. I always suggest starting out with a reactive slingshot from HowMuchYouBench.net. That's your best bet. This is not just a sales pitch, though. This is trying to teach you guys about bench pressing. So one of the reasons people get hurt in the bench press is because it's an awkward position to be in. That bottom position of bench press is shitty. Our bodies aren't really designed to do it. That's what people failed to tell you a long time ago, is that your body's not really designed for you to lay there down on your back and to overload the front delt with all that weight with your arms pinned back behind you. Think about it. In life, when else does your body ever move like that? I can't think of one situation where it does. But the bench press is a great exercise. We all love the bench press, so we still have to do it because every guy in the street asks you how much you bench. And in order to not sound like a wimp and not sound like a puss, you better be training it so you can tell them that you bench 550 or something substantial like that. Speaking of benching 550, that's my goal. May 19th at Super Training Gym, the next meet. At Super Training Gym, we got Dan Green lifting, got myself lifting. We have Eric Spoto, who is going to try to break the all-time biggest bench press. If he does, he will be paid $5,500, easy for me to say, in cash money from howmuchyoubench.net and The Power Magazine. A couple more things to think about on the bench press. I'm about to share with you a very interesting technique in concentration. People don't understand the mental side of this game. And I'm going to share with you a bench press secret today that has never been revealed before, will probably never be shared with after this either. Interesting, isn't it? This technique was invented by a lifter named Max Aita, who suffered from no bench at all. Max is a former Olympic lifter, very high level, I might add. Max is an extremely strong individual, as you can tell from his 700-pound squat, raw squat at 220 pounds. Unbelievable lifter. But Max Aita and his wife, who have taken it to heart from the Power Project to leave no stone unturned in their training, have really kicked things up a notch. You guys will be inspired. You guys will be motivated by this next tip that you're going to see. Focus is a major part of your training. The mental side of this game is a huge part of it. Enjoy the video you're about to see and realize that strength is never a weakness. Later.
Sucking on my titties like you wanted me, calling me all the time like Blondie. Check out my Chrissy behind, it's fine all of the time, like sex on the beaches. What else is in the teachers of peaches? Huh, what? On my titties like you wanted me, calling me all the time like Blondie. Check out my Chrissy behind, it's fine all over the time. What else is in the teachers of peaches? Like sex on the beaches. What? Huh? Right.